Hi, this is Dr. Richard Ruling, inviting you to share some key concepts. The fact is that we can awaken the doctor within us because the body is designed for self-healing. We all know this when it comes to a cut, bruise, or burn, but it can also work for serious disease if we know how to cooperate with the body's healing mechanism. This article on Secrets of Living Longer was featured in the National Geographic cover story of November 2005. As it was Loma Linda, which was the only blue zone in the Western Hemisphere, and coincidentally I happen to teach health science, and the university was funded by the federal government for $40 million to discover why the residents lived an average of about 7 years longer. I could have saved them a lot of time if they talked to me. Here is my favorite author, Ellen White, who was the founder of Loma Linda and who wrote extensively on topics of health and nutrition. And the reason why residents of Loma Linda have lived an average of 7 years longer is because they understand the principles of which she wrote. This is the next page in that Time magazine of July 9, 1990, and the red letters at the top say 100 years ahead of her time. If you look down to the fourth feature, in 1864 she said tobacco was a malignant poison, but it took the Surgeon General 100 years till 1964 to discover the malignant poison or malignant tumors were caused by smoking. But she is still more than 100 years ahead of her time on numerous topics. One good example is right here. People need to be taught that drugs do not cure disease. It is true that they sometimes afford present relief and the patient appears to recover as a result of their use, but in most cases the drug only changes the form and location of the disease. As a young physician, I struggled to understand this, could not see how this was true, but when my wife got a bladder infection and could not beat it with water, cranberry juice, an herb, uva ursi, she saw her doctor. He gave her an antibiotic, cleared up her infection, but not long after that she developed spots under her skin. She saw her doctor again, who did a blood test and called urgently the next morning for her to see a hematologist, who said that she had her bone marrow platelets had been wiped out, and in spite of splenectomy, high steroids, gamma globulin, blood transfusions, in and out of hospitals, she died of a stroke. So medical science is still playing with pharmacology and not good, but here's real truth ahead of its time. She makes this classic statement that pure air, sunlight, abstemiousness, rest, exercise, proper diet, the use of water, trust in divine power are the true remedies, and that everybody should have a knowledge of nature's remedial agencies and how to apply them. This from the book that you will have an opportunity to get at the end of this session. About 60 years later, after she published her book in 1905, Dr. Breslow, Dean of UCLA School of Public Health, found that 7 simple health habits resulted in a 30-year difference between those who broke all 7 compared to those who observed all 7 rules. And they amazingly are very similar to the remedies that Ellen White named 60 years earlier. We can remember them easily by the acronym New START, which stands for nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, air, rest, and trust in God. They are remembered also by the picture above showing the man abstaining, that's the word temperance, sleep, exercise, the diet with a little girl eating breakfast and a woman drinking water, and here's a woman. In Breslow's questionnaire it was, are you happy? This might be typified by the phrase trust in God, and that's it. The amazing thing about Dr. Breslow's study is that 60 years before he did his study, Ellen White wrote about the foods that have high cholesterol. She did not use the word cholesterol, but she identified those foods that would be, and Breslow's study showed a 30-year advantage even without considering those foods. So if we include them, here's what Pritikin found in the 1970s. A diet low in cholesterol and fat can actually reverse heart disease and many other conditions. This was featured in the U.S. News magazine in August of 1990. And it was really featuring Dr. Ornish, a cardiologist from California, who was probably following what Pritikin said in the 70s. While teaching at Loma Linda, I attended some cardiology meetings, and Pritikin was explaining how his diet, low in fat, could get 85% of people off of their blood pressure medication. This was astounding, and it's another example of how nutrition, or what we eat, can help to reverse our health conditions. I failed to mention that the diet that's low in cholesterol and fat not only helped reverse heart disease and blood pressure, but helped 85% of diabetics to get off of their medication as well. And now moving on to the acronym New Start. E is for exercise. It's the remedy that balances and enhances all others. If you think about it, when you exercise, it helps your mental attitudes, helps your sleep, helps your appetite, helps your elimination, it lowers blood pressure, it helps you equalize the blood sugar and lowers triglycerides. It helps your HDL to be higher. So many benefits. When something is good for the body, it's good many ways. And when something is bad for the body, it's also bad in more ways than we often think of. Moving on in our acronym of New Start, which represents the natural remedies, N is for nutrition, E is exercise, W is for water. And here is a book written by a physician titled Your Body's Many Cries for Water, and numerous conditions that can result when we don't drink enough water, because the body, if you think about it, is mostly water. 85% for the brain maybe, or kidneys, bone 30%, but much of it averages around 70-75% water, and all the processes occur in a fluid medium. We have to drink more water or we get dried up like a prune. The next remedy that we tend to overlook is sunlight. A classmate of mine from medical school, Dr. Zane Keim, wrote this book, Sunlight, and it shows numerous benefits from the lowering of cholesterol, because it converts cholesterol to vitamin D. That molecule of cholesterol also is the basis of male-female hormones and bile acids, which help digest our food. So beneficial results from sunlight, which also helps lower blood pressure, helps our mental attitudes, helps us feel good. It's just numerous benefits to a total focus on health. Moving on in our acronym, there are many complications from alcohol dependence. You can see them here listed, and most of them are affecting the brain, because the brain does tend to atrophy. The delicate nerves of the brain are first affected by alcohol. One's willpower, choice, judgment from the frontal lobes are first to be impaired. And so bottom line, alcohol is a problem. In Breslow's study, they were non-drinkers or drink only once a day. In Ellen White's remedies, her word was abstemiousness, or abstaining from harmful substances. And an overlooked problem in our general culture is the fact that FDA says caffeine is grass, generally recognized as safe, when it is anything but that. If you look at this list of symptoms commonly encountered in a general medical practice, people get headaches from caffeine. That's why drug companies put caffeine into anisin and Excedrin, because when they go through withdrawal, they get a headache, and they take the anisin or Excedrin, which stops the withdrawal, just like a smoke will stop your withdrawal symptoms from tobacco. It solves the symptom, but you're still addicted. And so people get nervous, they get insomnia, then they need sleep aids and all kinds of sleeping medication. People see the doctor for indigestion, gastritis, ulcers, when caffeine is a powerful turn-on to gastric acid. It lowers the tone of the gastroesophageal sphincter so that they get GERD, which is the reflux problem, and increased blood pressure. It creates heart irregularity. Coffee is not allowed in the coronary care unit. That lowers the threshold for VFib, or ventricular fibrillation, which is fatal. Breast lumps, my daughter got them when she was working the hospital late at night and drank Cokes, and she was told by her doctor, just stop the caffeine. Cleft palate, we see these little pictures from little kids that have a birth defect in the mouth, and it's from caffeine during pregnancy. Osteoporosis, thinning of the bones, cancer of the pancreas. The New England Journal of Medicine around 1981 in March had the lead article on cancer of the pancreas with a study of about 1,000 cases, and the researchers who did it decided they would stop drinking coffee. Elevated blood sugar, triglycerides. Dr. Pavlov called coffee bad habit glue. He did the research on the stress theory. So overall, bad situation. In Breslow's study, the individuals were also non-smokers, which fits the A for air in our acronym New Start. And it's a serious condition because even young smokers, average age 26, when they were analyzed after they died suddenly from a motorcycle accident, found to have changes already consistent with emphysema, though people don't usually get emphysema until they get in their 40s, but they found these microscopic changes in the lungs that would bring them to that condition 15 years later. The next remedy in this series, represented by the R in New Start, is rest or sleep. We all know how essential it is to good feeling and well-being to get a good night's sleep, but it also has a specialized form. For example, if you cut yourself, you arrest the tissues. You immobilize them so that they rest in the position to heal. They do that with the bones too. They stick it in a cast or a splint. And when you have a heart attack, they put you at bed rest with oxygen so your heart does not work too hard. For many people, if they would just not eat between meals and give their stomach a good 5 to 6 hours between meals, their stomach would work much better than every few hours popping something in, which creates havoc for the stomach. So rest, both for mind, body, and particular organs, is essential. The final T in our acronym New Start stands for trust in God or trust in nature for these natural remedies. We haven't mentioned each one specifically as far as how much they extended life in Breslow's study, but the big three were being overweight, smoking, and drinking, and all of them increased life to some extent. We mentioned exercise in Breslow's study. The person who exercised 3 times a week, getting a half hour each time, did better. I believe that a person exercising a small amount every day can have similar results if we get 5 or 10 minutes of significant exercise. One of my favorites was stair climbing, 2 steps at a time. It gets you huffing and puffing to go several flights of stairs. The W for water in Breslow's study represented 5 to 6 glasses a day, but not in the form of coffee or pop, which we've already discussed the caffeine issue. The sunlight is a benefit, and we often can get it with exercise if we keep that in mind. T for temperance, avoiding alcohol and caffeine. And then A for air, pure air, non-smoking. R for rest, the person who gets 7 to 8 hours sleep a night does better in the long run. And then this trust in God. In Breslow's study, he asked, are you happy? And that also answers to the fact that if we have trust, we are under less stress than otherwise. All of these remedies are dealt with in this book, Ministry of Healing. It's a book subtitled Health and Happiness, and it's written from a biblical but non-denominational perspective so that anybody could read it and enjoy it. 7 chapters excellent on the family, but the physical health is outstanding. Dr. Clive McKay, professor of nutrition at Cornell, was amazed that the author did not incorporate the fads and fallacies of her day, and she was able to induce a substantial number of people to improve their diets. Basically, if you read this book, you'll find that you will be doing better in your health issues. And he summarized a 5-page review by saying there's no better overall guide available today. This is, I credit this book for helping me. I'm mid-70s and in great health, and I just appreciate the things that I've learned and started many years ago. The body is designed for self-healing. If we, the good news is if we change our habits, we can not get progressively worse, but we can get progressively better if we've had problems. Tomorrow you won't remember half of what we've covered today. In fact, the forgetting curve suggests that even an hour later you only remember 50%. But the importance of good health will be just as real, and to help you in a major way, I've put together a package that includes the best DVD, and we're going to see just a few minutes of it, and also CDs on how to reverse the most common problems of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, overweight, etc. Even how to break addiction so that you shouldn't need medical care. More specifically, here is the New Start package. It includes the best DVD that I have found on reversing disease, and we're going to see a few minutes of it. The best 2 CDs showing how to apply the New Start principles to even break bad habits, and it includes some of the best physicians in the country on one of them. The best book ever written on health and happiness, we've taken a brief look at that. My business card with an email and phone number for a 5-minute call if you want a second opinion on some health topic, a link to an online encyclopedia of natural remedies, and an ebook, God Bless America. You can send me an email and I'll be happy to send that to you. Here's the cover of the Natural Remedies Encyclopedia, and you get a link to this online so that you can research any topic that you might have which is not found in the CDs or the book Ministry of Healing that you get with this package. Here is the New Start package, which sells online for $49.95. It includes the best DVD. $15 is what I paid to a friend plus $2 shipping, but I'm offering it for $10, and you can get that a la carte by itself. The best 2 CDs, for them alone, $19.95, but half price, $10 here. Don't have to pay postage. The book on the health and happiness is $5, and with it you get my card, including an email and phone number on it for a 5-minute consult if you have a second or wish a second opinion on some topic health-wise, and then a link to the Natural Remedies Encyclopedia. You can email me for that, and also for my ebook, God Bless America. So thank you for considering it. And now you can watch 6 minutes of the DVD that's included in this package. The title of the DVD is Eating. I like the term Diet for All Reasons because it's good for heart, blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, etc. But go to https and /YouTube, but YouTube has got a dot in the middle of it. You can see it there on the screen. Just stop and pause this video, and you can copy the letters. The last letter is an I, capital I, so that you can see it, and then return to order. If you want to, you can go to richardruling.com, or here at this seminar that we're doing, see you at the back of the room. If you like what you see while you're watching, slip back and we'll fix you up with the CDs, DVD, books, etc. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.